YouTube, welcome to episode 2 of Guidelines for Wi-Fi Battling. Today I will be teaching you team structure. Now before we start, I want to point a couple things out. Note I said structure and not team building. I will not be going into movesets, and I'm not going to be delving a whole lot into EVs just because I'm sure there's some casual players watching this just trying to come on Showdown, duke it out. They got presets on there. EVs are custom EVs are really more for a more advanced setting, and this is specifically basics. One more thing: this is not VGC. If you are here for VGC, I can redirect you to another video in the description. But we are doing Smokin' singles. But let's get started. So we're gonna go to a new team, and I don't know what to call this. We're just gonna go with LOL. Now, we're gonna go OU. I don't really play OU a whole lot, but more people recognize with it, so I feel like it'd be easier to catch on that way. Okay. Step 1 to team structure. Find a mon you like or prefer and base your team around it. I'm going to go with my favorite competitive mon, Inferno. Now, I love Inferno just because it's the most versatile thing in the world. It can be choice scarf, choice band, choice specs. You can give him a life orb and spot some sweep. You can give it a focus ash, use it for straight utility, which that's what I plan on doing. So we're gonna record that just so I can make sure. Now this is what I was talking about. I mean, I don't think I need to remind you. I don't think I need to tell you how to use Pokemon Showdown. Okay. Yeah. Either way, we're going to go utility Inferno. It's gonna run the Stealth Rock, Flare Blitz, Close Combat, and the Taunt. Now for this, I know Iron Fist all the way, but Blaze is actually much better because the hit Inferno goes down to 1 HP, doesn't die, sachets him. That's a Flare Blitz that's going to be doing some massive damage. So here it is. Fast Physical Sweeper. That's fine. It's utility. That's all it is. So I'm not going to bother nicknaming. Oh, step 2. Did you find the Pokemon you wanted? Perfect. Now, we have to cover it. Inferno's weaknesses involve water, psychic. I think Fairy balances out. Yeah, I think Fairy balances out. Water, psychic, ground. Popular weaknesses that I can think of, and flying. Now, what would resist water, psychic, ground, and flying? I'm not completely sure what would resist it too much. However, Ferrothorn is always a great option for a core. It's going to eat every single one of Inferno's weaknesses, and at least take... It's going to take neutral damage from all of them, I believe. Just thinking off the top of my head. Now, Ferrothorn is a great core because it has the Iron Barbs, and you can give it the Rocky Helmet. So if you know your opponent's going in there with, like, if they're going in with a U-turn, they're going to hit you with a physical contact, just a contact hit. You can switch into Ferrothorn. They'll take Rocky Helmet damage. They'll take Iron Barbs damage. Look at these defenses. So you can pop the lead sheet on there, expecting their switch. You can go Thunder Wave and hacks them out. Ferrothorn's a very good core. Now next, we want to kind of balance our core out because we have Ferrothorn. The Grass Steel is it's not gonna take too heavy hits from anything that isn't like fire or fighting. Even with fighting, defenses is high, 131 without EVs, plus any fighting type attack is gonna take massive recoil that isn't like Aura Sphere. Anywho, something that can stand up to grass, steel. Something that's going to be able to stand up to a fire or fighting type. Now, I know something that can do that, but we're looking for more of a special type core. So instead of my idea, we are going to go into Latias. Latias, it can resist a actually no, why would it not Latias? Don't get me wrong, Latias is a great pick. I'm gonna go into Quagsire. No, what am I doing? Here's okay, Gastrodon. Gastrodon is going to be your next pick. Because although its stats are kind of lacking, it's got great HP. It has great special defense. Physical defense isn't awful, but since Ferrothorn can eat fighting type attacks. It can. It absolutely can, especially if we get Elite off. I lost my water. But Gastrodon mainly is going to eat fire and is just not going to care about it. Not going to care one bit. So far our coverage is good. Our core is working out very nicely. It's time to choose a win con. Now, I don't think I need to explain a win con. It's going to get in there, clean up everything, and clear the team. But actually, before we do that, let's find a way to get hazards out of there. So I'm going to go into Scizor. Bear with me. We're going to go into Scizor because Scizor has a strong defensive set. It can also act as part of the core. It learns both Roost and Defog, as well as U-turn to escape out of there. And Bullet Punch plus Stab plus Technician for the really, really heavy priority hit. His defense is massive, or his attack is massive, defense is great. Special defense isn't so great, but at the same time, yeah, we're not going to have a problem. Now, I'm aware my team now has 2 times 4 fire weaknesses, and that's completely okay. Yeah, 2 times 4 fire weaknesses, because that leads into Azumarill. Now, Azumarill is a great win con. It has access to Belly Drum, as well as it does take some switching around. If you can give it a Citrus Berry, switch it in on, say, oh man, I don't play this tier. Switch it in onto Entei. Your opponent's using an Entei just for the sake of this argument. Your opponent uses Entei, you throw, huge power. You throw your huge power Azumarill in there. Entei probably can't touch it, he's gonna switch out, that's when you use the Belly Drum, Citrus Berry activates, you've lost maybe 20% health. And then you are completely clear to go for Play Roughs, Aqua Jets. Can you want anything funny? Something funny. Play Rough, Aqua Jet. I never fight these things anymore. Sorry, guys. And Ice Punch. Play Rough, Aqua Jet, Ice Punch. Your Azumarill is completely set. Yes, its attack is 50. You give it some investment. Now it's 218. Throw huge power, that's gonna double it. You know what your attack is now? It's math broke my brain. 436. Now multiply 436 times 4. I'm not gonna do it because I'm lazy, but that's your attack stat plus the Aqua Jet stab and the Play Rough stab. So Azumarill is a fantastic win con. And yes, I'm aware that also leaves us with a ×2 grass and a ×4 grass weakness, but Scizor and Ferrothorn both already have that covered, so we're fine. And now, our last slot Usually people want to make it a setup. I feel like Ferrothorn can take care of a setup, as in, we covered this last video, entry hazards, stealth rock spikes, toxic spikes, sticky web, etc. Our last one, I think we're going to go with Raikou. Now, be careful with mods like this, because the Raikou I'm going to use is specifically an event-only Raikou. So it must be shiny, and it must be rash, which I'm not too keen on that ability, because I prefer it to be modest. Because I do want the plus in special attack. That's fantastic. I love it. I want modest. But Raikou is mainly meant to get in there and clean up. It's our revenge killer. Revenge and pivot. Now, for those of you who don't know what a pivot is either say Infernips out there. They send out the Feraligatr. We want to get out as soon as possible. We're going to pivot into Gastrodon, expecting the water attack. And then back into Raikou. Because he's Feraligatr versus Gastrodon is either going to go for a Dragon Dance to set up, or just switch out entirely. Raikou's perfect for both, because we will be giving it a Choice Scarf. And Choice Scarf means, again, I'm pretty sure I don't need to explain this, but for those of you who don't know, Choice Scarf is going to raise our speed by 1 stage, therefore making it 150% what it actually is. I'm not doing the math, I don't feel like it. Raikou's going to be quick. He's only going to be able to use 1 attack, but it really doesn't matter, because if Gastrodon's out there, we see the Feraligatr, and it uses the Dragon Dance or it switches out, it's perfect. It doesn't really matter, because that means Raikou can come in. It's going to be faster because Raikou's inherently faster than Feraligatr, and they'll both be at +1. We have the option to either Volt Switch out as a pivot and give ourselves an advantage to set up the next round. Or if we're feeling confident, and we think the Feraligatr will A, stay in, or B, switch into something that can't live this hit, we'll go for the Discharge. Now, I'm going to explain for a minute why I go for Discharge over Thunderbolt. Thunderbolt, yes, does 95 damage and 100 accuracy, and it's fantastic, and I love it so much. But Discharge, it drops 15 damage, but it has 30% paralysis rate, as opposed to Thunderbolt's 10%. And honestly, they both have 100 accuracy. I feel like the 30% discharge is more reliable. Not reliable. I feel like it's going to be more useful than 15 extra damage. That's just me, though. I mean, if you want to use Thunderbolt, go ahead. That's perfectly fine. Raikou, this special Raikou also it's fantastic for... It's got reasons. I promise you it has reasons. If you'll notice, we have no fighting type except Infernape, who will be used as utility and probably won't survive that long. So, we're going to give him Aura Sphere. Keep in mind, it's not going to be one-hit KOs all the time because it doesn't get a stat boost. It's blatantly just 80 accuracy, special attack that can't miss. Now, it's amazing for an expected switch-in into... If I bring Raikou back out later in the match, they're going to say, oh, he's going to Volt Switch, I'll just go into my Rock type, or my Rock Ground type. Or, I'll go into my Resisting Steel type, and you hit him with an Aura Sphere, and it's great for surprise factor. It's a strong special attack. I really enjoy it. But, as you'll notice, we have everything covered. I mean, I think I did pretty well sticking into OU outside of Gastrodon and Infernape, but, you know, I don't know Raikou. I'm pretty sure Raikou's OU, yes, Raikou is OU. Anyway, we have everything covered very well. Raikou's only weakness is ground. For that, we have Azumarill. Scizor takes ground type attacks neutrally. Gastrodon also can eat ground attacks. It should be able to, by the way. Azumarill's only weaknesses are Electric and Grass. Oh no, I'm sorry. It's Fairy type now. Electric, Grass, and Poison. Because Steel's going to be neutral, balancing out with the Water typing. Someone's gonna hit us with a poison attack? Neat. We have Scizor and Ferrothorn to take that hit. If they want to go into an electric attack, we still have Ferrothorn, or Gastrodon, or Raikou to resist. If they want to go for the grass attack, we still have Ferrothorn and Scizor, so Azumarill's covered, completely covered. Scizor, if they want to go for a fire is the only thing Scizor has to worry about. Anything else, unless it's a super high damage special attack, or for some reason we can't roost, we'll be fine. Yeah, what I said. If they go for a fire hit, there's Azumarill, who resists it in water, and already has very decent special defense and great HP. There's Gastrodon, who's going to resist a fire attack times 4. It will resist it divided. It's going to take 25%. Now, Gastrodon's only weakness is grass. That's not to say that it can take everything else. Gastrodon it's an RU, right? Gastrodon is in the RU tier for a reason. It's not great. I like it because it gets the handy little move, Clear Smog. It's bad enough bringing Gastrodon to an OU match, let alone giving us Clear Smog. No one's gonna know what the hell's happening. I like it. I like it. You give it Clear Smog. Well, I give it Clear Smog, Toxic, Scald, and Recover. It's basically a very good stall set. It has a Storm Drain in case you can switch into a Water attack. Ferrothorn, again, same with Scizor. It's only really weak to fire and some fighting attacks. It can need a fighting attack very well. I've seen it happen. I've been on the opposing side. It's not fun, I promise. Again, with Ferrothorn, with Gastrodon, and Azumarill. I'm not going to get into specific checks and counters for each Pokemon because that's a lot to delve into. And I feel like we're going to stick with basics for now. Just sticking with basics. And then there's Infernape. So, I'm going to run through it one more time. Infernape is there for utility. It's setting up the rocks, it's taunting, and it's getting a couple hard hits off to start breaking down walls. If we need to switch from Infernape, we have our core and pivots being Ferrothorn, Gastrodon, and sometimes Scizor. Scizor is also our deterrent. If for some reason the taunt wears off, we're not fast enough to taunt, or somehow Infernape gets KO'd before that. Scizor's here with the defog. He's going to get those entry hazards out of here. We're going to keep the team safe, and then we're going to use our low speed to U-turn out, making sure Scizor takes the hit first, and then goes into a counter, which will most likely be Raikou, who can maximize off that slow U-turn and hit them with a fast Volt Switch. And keep in mind, our win cons are still Raikou, who's going to be pivoting and pivoting and pivoting until we can sweep with discharges and Aura Spheres, and whatever else attack I decide to give it. And Azumarill, who's just going to get in there and pound his tummy and start punching stuff. But, oh, also, one more thing before I go. Ferrothorn and Gastrodon, between Toxic and Leech Seed, are both very, very, very good at breaking down walls. If your opponent has a Chansey set up, throw that Leech Seed out there. Don't be afraid. Keep it out there, hit him with the Leech Seed, watch it sap that health. Eventually that Chansey's got to switch out and something else is going to be taking something bad. Whether it be a Leech Seed or a Gyro Ball. But, I hope this was informative. It's really important to remember your typing basics. You know, the water beats fire, beats grass, beats water type thing. Very important to remember that. Always take your stats into consideration. I mean, I said I wasn't going to get into EVs just because it's supposed to be basic. But I showed here, you know, Raikou has 329 max speed. Not max because I can't change its nature, but 329 almost max speed with a scarf. Nothing is going to outspeed this thing except for like a Sand Rush Excadrill, because that happened and I'm not proud. Either way, take your stats into consideration, take your types into consideration. I'm going to be doing another video probably trying to teach you how to do checks and counters because I don't play this tier. So that depends on more so the tier than actual guidelines. However, it's still important to keep your checks, stats, types, move pools, everything matters. Let's say you're playing a team and the game lasts 36 turns. Every single one of those 36 turns will matter. But regardless, we're doing team structure. And I know we really just covered typing, but I really hope this was able to help you a little bit, especially the newcomers out there who are hoping to get competitive. I know if you're a Wi-Fi veteran, this probably didn't help you, but no, I do what I can. I don't think I can help you if you're a veteran, but if you're a newcomer, like, I hope I helped. Be sure to come back for more. I'm going to be trying to upload more of these as they come to me, but if you have any suggestions, please list them below and I'll do what I can to help out. But hey guys, thanks a lot for watching. Make sure to hit that like. It'll really help. It'll really help get it out there and hopefully help more people out and really inspire me to do more with it. But see you next time.